Hey Grownups, I have something exciting to share with you. There's a brand new kids podcast out now that I think you're going to love. It's called Mysteries About True Histories. This show is perfect if you love adventures, solving riddles, and maybe even some wacky math problems. But I need a little help from some new friends to tell you more. Max and Molly, take it away.
From the creators of Who Smarted, Starglow Media, comes a brand new podcast called Mysteries About True Histories.
Does that sound serious enough?
Max, we only have 30 seconds for this promo. Just tell them how your mysterious aunt recruited us into a secret order of problem solvers who travel time and have epic adventures.
I don't have to. You just did.
Catch new episodes of Mysteries About True Histories every Thursday on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, Tailblazers, I'm Rebecca Cunningham, and this is Girl Tales, a kids' podcast of feminist stories for a new generation. Before we get started, I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Ophelia, and send a very special shout out to Gabriella and Mara, who helped us create Sakura and the Unicorn. Grownups, if you would like to hear your child's name at the top of our next tale, head to patreon.com/girltales and donate today. Well, this is our last episode of the season, Tailblazers. Since the 4th season has started, there have been 35 new stories, a bunch of new characters like Marcel, who sells seashells in salt water, Lulu, who showed her true colors with her cape from her grandmother, Mrs. Fezziwig, and her Christmas Eve party, and the list goes on. Can you think of your favorite character or your favorite story from this season? You know what my favorite part of this season was? You. You are, and always will be, our favorite part of Girl Tales. It is such an honor that you listen to us every week. While you eat breakfast in the morning, on your way to school, before you go to sleep at night, it is so special that you invite Girl Tales into your life. I just want to thank you for all of your support this season, and I can't wait to share our last story with you. Yes, we will be back. We will come back this fall, so you go out and have fun this summer. You deserve it. Go think of your own stories, create your own worlds, your own characters, and you can email me about it. Tell me everything you thought of at rebecca@girltalespodcast.com. Now, on to our episode. This is Rainbow Goddess Takes a Vacation. Enjoy! I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine. Her name is Iris. And no big deal, but she's a goddess. Iris is the goddess of the rainbow. Anytime you see a rainbow, it was probably made by Iris. She can fly, and she travels from place to place by flying across the sky, making a rainbow as she goes. But I'm getting ahead of myself. One day, a few years ago, Iris was flying near Freshwater. She was making a beautiful rainbow across the blue sky. It was early summer, and the day was perfect. There was a nice breeze, perfect for flying a kite, which is what I was doing. My kite was super high, probably the highest I'd ever flown a kite. And it just so happened the kite was blue, which is maybe why Iris didn't see it as she flew over Freshwater. Unfortunately, Iris flew right into my kite, got tangled in the string, and fell out of the sky. I saw her tumbling through the branches of a tree and, bonk, land under it. I ran over as quickly as I could. I didn't know Iris back then, so all I saw was a woman laying on the ground in a rainbow dress with big gold wings. I was worried she was hurt. But as I got closer, I saw her sit up and spit out some leaves and twigs. Her hair was full of sticks. She stood up and started untangling herself from my kite. I rushed over to help her. I am so sorry. Are you okay? I asked. We got the kite strings untangled, and she started brushing herself off. Were you flying? I'm sorry if my kite is what knocked you out of the sky. I'm Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns, I said, words tumbling out of my mouth as I tried to understand what happened. It's all right, Rebecca. Pleased to meet you. I'm Iris, Iris said. I also use she, her pronouns, and I was indeed flying. You see, I'm the goddess of the rainbow. My mouth dropped open. The goddess of the rainbow? You mean you make rainbows? Iris pointed at the sky, and there it was. Half a rainbow that ended in the middle of the sky right above us. I stared at the beautiful colors blending from one shade to the next. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. The same colors shimmered on Iris's dress. Well, it was nice to meet you, but I should get going, Iris said. She flapped her golden wings and started to float off the ground. Then, all of a sudden, she dropped back to the ground. Ouch, she said. Iris reached out and touched her wing, and then I noticed that the tip of one of her wings was bent. Iris gently touched the bent part and winced. She was hurt. Oh no, I exclaimed. Well, this is unfortunate, Iris said calmly. I have to tell you, I was starting to panic a little. My kite had knocked a flying goddess out of the sky, and she had a bent wing. I felt terrible. It was all my fault. I had to do something. I can help you fix your wing. Do you know magic? Well, no, but I do have friends who know magic. So Iris and I walked around Freshwater looking for my most magical friends. We saw Katrina the cat, who was only tricky and not actually magic. We walked to Freshwater Lake, but Enbar and the fairies were all in Tirnanog, Nessie was over in Scotland, and Nimue was nowhere to be found. We couldn't find Baba Yaga, or Persephone, or Circe, or Emerald, or Hermes, or Emrys Merlin. I was starting to worry we would never find a magical friend who could help. As we walked around, I told Iris stories about the magical people and creatures who lived in Freshwater. She was fascinated. Even with her sore wing, she wanted to learn more about our town and everyone in it. Next, we tried Dr. Franny K. Stein, but she reminded us that she's not a medical doctor, and Freshwater's town doctor, Dr. Curie, was on vacation. I was out of ideas, and Iris was tired of walking. She was more of a flyer than a walker. We heard a far-off sound of giant footsteps. Sasquatch was walking near town. Sasquatch knew so much about plants and animals, she might be able to help. So Iris and I hurried and followed Sasquatch's big footprints until we caught up to her. Oh, hello, Rebecca, Sasquatch said when we found her. Hello, Sasquatch. I am so glad to see you, I said. This is Iris, the goddess of the rainbow, and her wing is bent. I thought maybe you could help us fix it. Sasquatch took a look at Iris's golden wing with the bent tip. Just a moment. Sasquatch walked deeper into the woods while Iris and I waited. Freshwater is full of interesting creatures and people, Iris observed. Definitely. I love it here, I said. Sasquatch returned with a handful of flower petals. Goddess Iris, these flower petals will help your wing to heal. Brew them into tea twice a day and take a rest from making rainbows for at least a week. Rest for a week? Iris looked shocked. I haven't taken a week off from making rainbows since... Well, I've never taken a week off. Poor Iris. Clearly she was not having a good time with her broken wing, which was kind of my fault, and she clearly was nervous about taking time off from making rainbows. I walked with her back to town. On the way, Iris spoke nervously. Where will I stay? What will I do? What will a world without rainbows be like? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I listened to her worries. Iris, you could stay with me if you like. After all, I'm the one who knocked you out of the sky with my kite. And as for what there is to do during your week of rest, Freshwater is such a fun place in the summer. I could show you around. Iris looked unsure, but as we walked through the town, she seemed to brighten. She saw kids playing baseball and softball in the fields near the school. She saw the lemonade stands popping up along Hypatia Lane. She watched as a group of kids went skateboarding and roller skating past, laughing as they went. Maybe a vacation is a good idea, she reflected. I smiled and nodded. That's how the goddess of the rainbow, who spent every day making rainbows all around the world, became my house guest for a week. In the morning, we had breakfast. Iris always made a rainbow over the breakfast table, just for fun. Then we'd set out for a walk around Freshwater, meeting my wife Pippa and other friends. Everyone had questions for Iris. She became the most popular person in town. She told us stories about the other gods and goddesses. Hermes especially loved to chat with Iris about Mount Olympus. Every evening, we either got ice cream, went to a baseball game, or worked in my garden. After a week, Iris's wing was doing much better. Taking time to rest and relax really helped. Pippa and I organized a little going-away party for her, and everyone in Freshwater came to say farewell. Iris was surprised and delighted to see all her new friends. Thank you all so much for making my vacation so wonderful. I've decided to take a vacation in Freshwater every summer, Iris declared, and we all cheered. So, I painted my kite orange to make it easy to spot, and I fly it on the same day every year to welcome Goddess Iris to Freshwater. She makes rainbows all over town, flying from friend to friend, going to baseball and soccer games, and getting ice cream, of course. Iris loves ice cream. Iris learned that it's important to rest. You can't work all the time nonstop. Even though it all started with a small kite collision, I'm glad the goddess of the rainbow chose Freshwater as her vacation spot. That was Rainbow Goddess Takes a Vacation, written and produced by Tessa Flannery, performed and executive produced by me, Rebecca Cunningham. Grownups, if your Tailblazer is missing Girl Tales this summer, we are still telling stories over at patreon.com/girltales. If they head over there, they can listen to every chapter of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Your support means that we can have a 5th season. It is vital to us continuing our work. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us this season, prior seasons, and in the future. Girl Tales is a Cordelia Studios production. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And Grownups, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for listening, and remember, I believe in you.